As you know already, the G20 summit is coming to Delhi on the 9th and the 10th of this month. The Prime Minister gave a much-awaited media interview to PTI all about the preparations and what India in particular can look forward to. Very quickly, we're going to take you through some of the key remarks he made, then we'll connect with a reporter to understand them. He said, number one, that India in 2047 is going to become a highly developed nation. He also said that India will become the third largest economy in the world. He took a jibe at the opposition. He said that earlier governments lacked confidence in the citizens of other states to properly organize high-profile international meetings outside Delhi. He also criticized the opposition for, in his words, intensifying freebie culture. He said that while reckless, these are his words, reckless financial policies may provide immediate electoral gains, they come at a significant long-term social and economic cost. Now, those are some of the key remarks. My colleague Aman Sharma connected with us right now to bring us a lot more in terms of context and understanding to these comments. Aman, as we've been telling our audiences in the run-up, G20, when it takes place, is a coming together of nations that represent about 80% of the world's GDP, 75% of the world's trade, and the economic focus around G20 is really what we're going to see is the highlight in the next few days. In that context, how do we look at what it is that the Prime Minister has said?
See, Toya, what the Prime Minister spoke on the G20 summit to PTI, one thing is very, very clear that he's trying to say here that the India's presidency of the G20 is remarkable, it is unique. It is unique also not just in the messaging for the G20 presidency, but also the entire geographical expanse of G20. The words he used that G20 in the past or world events in the past which were held in India were limited maybe to Vigyan Bhavan or around in Delhi. But India in this time in the G20 presidency has been able to take the G20 presidency out of Delhi, out of Mumbai to nearly 60 cities in India. Every state, every UT has had a G20 event, including in Kashmir. We've had over 220 events will be held in G20 by the time the presidency is over. So not just has India expanded the G20's perspective, it has also given a message to the world that, even our tier 2 cities, he said over 1 lakh delegates have visited India for G20. So not only have they seen India's cultural inclusivity when they have traveled across the country, the tourism potential of the country, lot of messages, and they have also first-hand seen the development of the country. That is what the Prime Minister is hinting at. Apart from G20, I think a very, very important message by the PM also on the larger atmosphere of positivity in the country, a very, very confident Prime Minister. If you see his words, him speaking about a vision for 2047, him speaking about how the country's economy has grown. And he said this growth in Indian economy is not an accident. It is a result of very thought out policies over the last 9 years. That is why we are seeing this increase in India's economy. And he says there's a recognition of the same internationally as well, that India is the fastest growing economy in the world right now. And he has again reiterated the confidence that India will be the third largest economy in his second term as the Prime Minister. I think also a very important comment on the freebies culture, which is actually dominating the political discourse right now, with the Congress offering these freebies in states like Himachal and Karnataka, which they won. We just saw a few days back the Karnataka government inaugurating this Griha Lakshmi scheme where 2,000 rupees are being given to every woman in the state. The PM clearly saying that these are short-term gains, political gains can come from this freebies policy, but in the long term, it could hurt the country. And fiscal responsibility is an important point that he has also been stressing among state governments, that they cannot be reckless fiscal spending, because that puts the larger economy of the state in a spot. And that is what I think the Prime Minister's larger message is from his interview to PTI is.